order. This is a board retreat and work session evening, so we'll be a little bit more casual and a little bit in terms of discussion. Hopefully we'll have a lot going on, so we'll just kind of wait and see. But welcome everybody. Invocation, Reverend Richardson, if you would please.
Father, we thank you for another day that we can come together to discuss the business of the district. And Father, we just thank you for the cooler weather that has prevailed. Father, we just pray that as we move into the fall season, that we'll just be ready for the weather that comes after that, Father. Just everything that we say and do tonight, we just pray that we have the children's best interests at heart, Father, that we look forward and take care of our staff. And Father, just as we move this district forward, we just ask that you guide and direct us. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you. All right, Dr. McLean, if you will take it from here, just go on down the agenda, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. We think.
I think you will. Good evening, gentlemen, and to our friends in the audience tonight. Tonight you'll see several of our academic team members with us, because this year our school improvement plans were approached a little differently. They were not just created at the school level without assistance from the district office. The district office academic team members actually visited each and every school team and provided guidance. So they are here tonight in support of their work. This is a 2-day retreat/work session, and the first half hour is just us giving you a bunch of updates. Some handouts, some updates, just things that are good for you to know as board members at this point. We don't need any action on any of it, it's just information we want to get you. Then we will move into the official work session. And our first order of business is to go into a data dig. We have subgroup data we think you will find interesting. It is hot off the press, and it is so hot off the press that Dr. Myrick and Beth Cook are going to a state meeting on this Friday to get even more information on this subgroup data. So we're giving you preliminary subgroup data tonight we think you will find interesting, and then you will have the opportunity to talk with our 5 principals leading low-performing schools. I'm very careful not to say our low-performing principals, because some are new to their schools, and I really don't like to refer to the leaders of those schools that way anyway. Their livelihood rests on the results of what other people do with and for children and by children. So I'm very careful to say you will have the opportunity to speak with our 5 principals leading low-performing schools. They've planned about 2 minutes to give you updates. You've seen their executive summaries, which we completely redid based on your questions and things you wanted information on. So we'll be able to reference that. And then after we do that, we will go into closed session tonight. We will review my setup for superintendent evaluation, and we'll take a look at last year's letter, and we will then have 2 other orders of business in closed session, principal contracts that you're requesting one of them. Tomorrow, we will begin at 5 o'clock p.m. 5 o'clock p.m. So I don't want us to be off track tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, we have 3 main orders of business. We will begin the evening by having the principals of whom you've asked to speak come and share with you their school improvement briefs and give you an opportunity for Q&A with them. We'll do that the first hour and a half if need be. We will break for dinner tomorrow night, and then we will move into the official legal toller study. And that process, after our staff presents the study, the conversation you will have of, we'd like more information on this, or could you get us more about that? We will go through that process, and RTI will facilitate that again. You remember Dr. Angela Quick. She will be back to facilitate that. Staff will go back to the drawing board so that we may get whatever additional information you'd like to have, and set a date for public hearing at a later date. After we do toller, we'll take a mini break, and then you will go into conversation, discussion, deliberation around web and web HLS. At the public hearing, your task was to simply listen. And so tomorrow night, we will have, you all will have the floor to kind of talk about your feelings, your emotions, and RTI will facilitate that process as well. So that is our next 2 evenings, and I'm so grateful to have you all here. And Without further ado, would you like for me to just go ahead and begin?
Go ahead and roll on.
We'll go ahead. We promised everyone a directory update, and I don't know how many of you have your computers with you. If you'd like to follow along, Dr. Winborn is going to share with you the new electronic directory for the district. People have wanted to know who to contact, what is their extension, what is their email. So we have really taken a stab. There's a little more to be done with this, but we think we're in a pretty good place. So you have access to this online, just like everyone else. You also have access in your folder tonight. So if you want to take this home and keep this in your nightstand as reference, so that when you want to talk with someone, you know how to reach them. This is our goal, to have a district directory. So Dr. Winborn, will you take just a minute or two to show our board members sort of where to find this?
Absolutely. So thank you, Dr. McLean. Board members, as Dr. McLean said, this was actually designed to be used digitally. So there'll be a link to our website, and then there'll be hyperlinks embedded in the document so you can jump around to the different departments and get to them more quickly. And also, there will be, the email addresses will be hot links as well, so you could click on that and be able to email whoever you need here. But it's organized by first our leadership with our Board of Education, and then senior administrative staff and their admin assistants, and then all of the different major departments within the school district. So auxiliary and support services, and then curriculum and instruction, finance, human resources, and of course this is just in alphabetical order, but you can, again, from the front of the document, you could click on it and it would jump and link you down to wherever you wanted to go. Technology, and then each of our schools, the leadership at our schools, the front office staff, so to speak. So it doesn't contain the directory of information of all of the staff. We do, of course, on our district website, also have a way to navigate, and that's through departments and or schools. And then if you go to a school, you can search the faculty and staff there as well. So we're trying to hit this from a number of different angles. But as Dr. McLean said, we would like to add under the name, title, and contact information for each of these folks, some of their primary areas of responsibility. So for example, under HR, if you wanted to be in touch with someone regarding FMLA, we would have a little bullet underneath for Samantha Chapel, as an example. So if you had a question or something that needed around that topic, you could look for it there. Or say it was retirement benefits or something like that, you could then find out, put a name with a face with the exact topic you want.
Thank you, Dr. Winborn. We want that goal 5 of our strategic plan to be real, not just something we put on a shelf. And communication is key. Who to call, who to reach out to, and things of that nature. So this is just another attempt to try to make certain our community knows who to speak with regarding their concerns or issues. So we hope that's good. We hope that's something you all will find helpful. Some people we don't have pictures for yet. We're going to continue to work on getting all pictures. We set a date this summer, and some people were out, so we'll get the photographer back out again. But the structure will be along this line. Any questions?
Very good. Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a work in progress, but we did want to bring our board up to speed on that. The next thing we'll share with you is a long sheet of paper in your stack tonight. This is the district span of control as we sit right now. I shared this with you last year this time, and there were some positions not even up here. We didn't have a grant person when we came on board, and you can see from this sheet several of the hats people wear, and again, communication, who to call, who's over what department, and things of that nature. So this one is sort of hot off the press, to be honest with you. We have names just about everywhere. We have a vacancy or two in technology. But we thought you would find this helpful. as we all, we're gonna move into budget season real soon, and we're gonna have this put on our website as well, so the public can see. We're pretty short-staffed. You can see people wear multiple hats, but this is our span of control for the district. Any questions on this document? We have not yet shared this year, so we thought this would be a good time. I'm now going to ask Dr. Myrick to give you an update on our AP course offerings for the district. Dr. Myrick?
So I just shared with you people who believe are recent. And Dr. McLean, I think since we had this for Monday night, we didn't move it over, but who's going to pull it up?
Okay.
It is all AP classes. So this just, board members, good evening. This gives you an overview of the AP courses that are offered by campus this semester. Starting with South Granville, they are offering 3 AP classes: AP English, Language and Composition, Literature and Composition. That is an 11th grade class. It's an AP Literature class for 11th grade English and AP Environmental Science. And on the side, you can see the number of students that are currently enrolled in each of the classes. Granville Central is offering English Literature and Composition as well, along with Environmental Science, as well as AP US History. And they're also offering, through NCDPS, AP Statistics and Biology. 2 students are taking those classes. JF Webb, on the JF Webb side of the campus, there are no AP classes offered, but if you look on the Webb HLS, that English Language and Composition and the AP Psychology classes have students from both campuses and in the English Language Composition class, with Webb having 6 students and HLS having 14. And with the psychology, all of those students are from Webb HLS. Granville Academy, again, is also offering an AP Psychology course. These are the first semester courses, and the students who are registered for second semester courses, again, South Granville offering Calculus, AP Computer Science, Statistics, Environmental Science, as well as US History. 2 sections of that at South Granville. Granville Central, Language and Composition, as well as an AP Calculus class, and the statistics students and the biology students that were taking them through NCDPS, that's a year-long class, so those will be the same students. At Webb, AP Calculus, with that, it's 14 students taking, 12 from HLS and 2 from JF Webb. And Webb HLS is offering, again, AP English Literature and Composition, Biology, US History, and Statistics, and you can see the number of students who are taking the courses at Webb, as well as the students who are taking the courses at Webb HLS. And what we charged the principals to do this year when they were registering the students for these AP classes, if you've noticed, with all of our classes, except with the exception of our online classes, these courses have 15 or more students in it, with the exception of JF Webb. I think there was one other class that had 14. And what we've asked the schools to do is to try to make sure that they have a minimum of 15 students per class in order for it to be offered. And that was across campus, as well as in some of the CTE classes. There are some courses, of course, that can't have over a certain number because of state regulations for safety concerns and so.
I did have a question, Dr. Martin. You may have just answered it. My question was going to be, first semester JF Webb, why was not any AP courses offered? And I'm assuming from what you just said, because maybe they didn't apply, students didn't apply. Was that the reason?
Well, it could have been that they did not have enough students to
Do you know
make a class.
Do you know specifically?
No, I don't.
I would like to know that,
Okay.
because if you're going to offer a class, I want to know what is the specific reason why, whether kids applied or whether it just wasn't offered. I thought you'd answered it.
Yes, we have in our curriculum bulletin, and we can pull that up, all of our campuses offer multiple advanced placement courses. But like with other courses, if the students don't sign up for those courses and we don't have enough students to have the course, then we don't offer it.
All of the reason why I think that would be such a good reason to have an answer for that question available publicly, that people will understand that it's not something that's neglected, but perhaps they need to apply for it.
How does, how do you deal with having certified AP teachers to be able to offer these courses versus not having enough AP certified teachers? Does that make any sense to you?
Yes, what normally happens when with these courses that we have teachers on the campuses that are certified, and if there's an AP course that a teacher wishes to take, each year that the AP Institute happens through College Board, and they offer professional development. It's a week-long professional development, and because these students are geared towards our higher level students, we use money from our AIG state funds to send teachers to the trainings that happen across the country, because sometimes they're in different states as well as in North Carolina for different courses. But all the courses that are currently in our course catalog that we offer, we have staff that have been trained.
I'm sorry, I did not make myself clear. Is what we offer for AP classes based on who is certified, what teachers are certified in those areas?
In some instances, yes.
Okay, keep going.
And then in other instances, if there is a class that, let's just say a school wants to offer AP chemistry, for example, and if they currently don't have anyone that's certified to teach AP chemistry, if they know they want to teach an AP chemistry in the fall class, what we would do, we would try to help that school find where they can send that teacher to be trained to be an AP certified chemistry teacher for the fall, and we would send a teacher to that training so that they can come back and be able to teach that course.
In that same year?
It would happen during the summer for the following season.
But
Yeah, for,
let's take South Granville as an example.
okay.
Let's say that there are kids who want to take AP calculus, but they don't have a teacher that is certified to teach AP calculus. So basically, at that point, those kids are just out of luck.
Yes, but we can offer it online.
Online, okay, great. All right, so is that why we have some of those online courses? Because, okay, okay.
Where you see those ones online, it's probably, there weren't enough, you know,
Sure.
in order to run a course, we hit the 15 student sort of as the mark. Otherwise, you end up with courses with 30 and 40 students, and then this is a course where you're teaching 1 or 2 students. So we're really trying to encourage students to take those upper level, you know, courses if they're prepared to do so. But where you see the ones, they probably, AP Stats and AP Bio, probably courses where we didn't get enough interest. But we don't want children not taking what they're ready to take.
Well, and this is, let me just, I'll finalize this. The reason I ask this is because Webb doesn't have anyone in the first semester. Is it possible for 1 or 2 kids who want to take AP course, just 1 or 2, that they could take that course online? And if so, did we not have any students at all who wanted to take an AP course?
That question I can't answer because and this, I think that goes back to what Mr. Smith was asking in terms of what was offered at the school. But all of the counselors at the school know that the courses through North Carolina Virtual Public, as well as the partnership that we have with the North Carolina School of Science and Math.
Okay, you know, you get what I'm getting at, and I'm just curious more than anything.
Right.
I think we should find that out.
All the more reason to have that answer.
Yeah. Okay, yes, sir.
Yes. Based on Dr. Myers' comments, 2 questions come to mind, and perhaps they can be done online. Do we have any students at Phoenix Academy enrolled in an AP course?
I don't believe so. I do not. Not
Okay.
yet, anyway.
Okay. And the second question, do we have any students at Phoenix Academy enrolled in CTE?
We do have,
Not currently, no.
what did we end up
Yes.
with at the end of last year though, Dr. Clark? We had one or two.
I think the way Mr. Timberlake worked it, it depended on what course the student was
Yes.
taking, and he would work out something with the principal so that the student could continue to take the class.
So there have been instances, we may not have anyone yet,
Okay.
but he does find a way to work with those students, especially in their 11th and 12th grade year.
And I would think, particularly on the CTE,
That's right.
that would certainly, it could certainly benefit some students.
Yes.
Okay, that's my question.
We thought this would be good information for our board. We did not bring this last year, but we thought the AP information was something worthy of just giving, making sure you have. The next,
Thank you.
you're welcome. The next item, just for sharing, I attended a superintendent's meeting on Friday and received a lot more information than I think I bargained for. And this was some of that information. Of course, with the stakes in testing and accountability changing a little bit, this topic came up of charter schools. So if you will flip through this packet, you will see the 11th, 12th grade year, you'll see the 13th and 14th school year, 15th, 14th and 15th, 15th and 16th, year 17, and on the very back, you see where we are. And you can look at how we look as a state as it relates to charter schools and the amount of funding and such going on those districts. So you will see we're now at the 12.0 to 25.6 category. And we've been there, if you look back at 17, we were there in 17. We were not there in 15, 16. You can see where we were in the red. And if you go back even farther, you will see where Granville was still in the red for 14, 15, and then we were in the orange in 13, 14. So over time, I just thought this was interesting as we move into a new budget season and conversations around students and charters versus public. But this is the state view. This is the state view.
Is there any kind of thought on why that corridor?
Isn't that an interesting corridor? Just for the public to see what our board see, or what our board is taking a look at. This hasn't always been this color. This is now the highest number of students in charter schools. And so when they shared that with us, we too as superintendents thought, well, isn't that interesting? That's an interesting little corridor in the state. And then you've got a little bit over here in the west and a little bit in the southeast. But all of this right there together, that dark spot, is the majority of our charter enrollment in the state. So we just thought that was interesting. So I thought I would bring this home to you. We don't need to do a thing with it. It's just good information to know. We as superintendents thought it was very good information to know.
Could you find out for us the number of the number of charter schools by, let's say, county for these school systems, these counties that are in the red?
County in that deep burgundy?
Right, well, yeah,
Okay.
and because it would be interesting to see as it goes across, are there a lot of charter schools in these school systems as compared to other counties?
Be sure to get
You're talking about students, or are you talking about the number of charters that we're sending funding to?
Correct.
Both or one of the other?
I'm just interested, and I'm actually interested in all of the ones that are red, how many charter schools there are
Physically located?
physically
Okay.
located or in that general vicinity, because I suspect what we see is that the percentage of charter schools in these counties is significantly higher than other parts of the state. I would like to see that. It would be interesting to see what that was.
But do you agree? I thought it was pretty interesting information. It's pretty telling, especially over 6 years.
Sure is.
Information. All right, the next order of business is one that I would like to share with you just in general tonight. And then I would like to bring back to you for a closed session on another evening some recommendations for expediting our board meetings. And I thought that might be of interest to you all. And the manner in which we're recommending that is to possibly align some of our committees to the work of each department for which we have an executive director and 2 assistant superintendents, and have an additional meeting per month where some items could either get put on a consent agenda or represented. But you would not see things for the first time, one-shot deal at a board meeting. So we plan to draw that out. I just wanted to put it on your radar this evening for tonight's purposes to see if there was interest in doing that or if we'd like to just keep things as they are. Is there information from you on this, or?
Can you go a little bit further in what you're talking about?
Sure.
So we understand a little bit more.
Sure. When you come in and you see things presented for the very first time, I know there have been a few comments about, you know, wish we'd had this a little bit sooner, do we get more time? And if it's a policy, you get a first and a second read. But most evenings, it's an action item from staff. You get to really see it that one time. If we were to back up maybe a week or so and get some information in front of you, by these 3 departments, I'm thinking committees by these 3 because it's basically how we have our school improvement plans and our district strategic plan sort of aligned. It would just be clean that way. But if you have an opportunity to have a chair for that committee, everyone could come if they'd like, or just those committee members. And what you do is you expedite the meeting because you either get to go ahead and put it on consent, and it's not represented. You only get to vote, though, in the board meeting, that one board meeting a month. So that could help expedite things. Or you can approach this any way you'd like, but I didn't want to go too far down the path. If we're all comfortable the way it is, then we will leave this alone and keep it moving. But if you'd like for us to bring some ideas, we can do that.
Do you think that would cut down on the number of meetings we have per month?
It won't cut down on the number of meetings. It will cut down the amount of time we spend in that one meeting each month.
Now, you're saying, Dr. McLean, for a committee to look over one particular item that you might bring to the agenda, they look at it beforehand, but then when we come together for a meeting, that's when we would vote on it.
Absolutely.
That would give me a little heartache if I'm not on that committee. If you understand what I'm saying. If you put that on consent items and I haven't heard or seen anything about it until that night, I'll be the first one to raise my hand and say, no, I need to know what y'all talking about.
Well, here's the beauty of the model I'm talking about. There will be individuals on the committee, and there will be a chair for that committee, but everyone is welcome to come to the committee meeting. Everyone is welcome to do that. That is how some other counties manage it. So it's, you know, we can explore it, or we can leave it alone, because I think that's a valid point. And we want to do what works for this board.
Board members, any comments?
I think some way to streamline it would be a good idea, because I've made the joke, and I'm not really joking, that after 8 or 9 o'clock, I don't really care what you say.
I've heard you, Mr. Richards.
My brain has turned off at that point.
You're not the
I've
only
seen all the eyes, Mr. Richardson.
And Dr. McLean and I haven't talked about this, but just to share from having experienced this system, I think what you're talking about with seeing something but not having been on the committee that reviewed it, it's certainly fine for a board member to say, could we remove that from consent? I'd like to discuss it. But for certain things like contracts or some, you know, sort of routine policy updates, board members feel comfortable that the committee has reviewed it. I'm comfortable with that, I'll take a quick look. But it's fine to pull something and ask for further discussion.
You know, we just about do that now. We do have certain things that I think y'all present to us maybe beforehand in all little ways, and then we have them on the consent item. And they usually ride right on through unless one of us do have a problem, and we pull to get that one looked at. My concern is, and it's my concern, is that if you have a committee on a particular item, and it's just those people that's looking at it, and then you bring it to the board for a vote on it, I'm always no problem with that if I haven't seen it. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to attend every other meeting, because we have quite a few meetings. that this would just be a few more additional meetings, and I'm talking to you. So I don't know if I feel comfortable with that at all. I kind of like what we're doing. I'll go ahead and voice my opinion tomorrow.
Okay. Other board members?
I guess one of my concerns would be the number of agenda items that we typically have. Is there a way to streamline those or to consolidate? Because, I mean, we're at 13, 14 agenda items with sub-agenda items as well. You know, max cap it out at 10. One thing you can do is limit the discussion time.
I think you're right on target. I don't know that we need to limit discussion, because one of the things that I think we sometimes don't do is for the board to discuss enough. But the point you're making is absolutely 100% something I'm in agreement with. We just have so much on the agenda that if we get to 7 o'clock and I glaze over.
Well, this is why I bring it to you, gentlemen. I've heard the concerns for about a year, and this is an opportunity to address it. We can do whatever, you know, you'd like to do. And there are multiple ways for it to happen. Various boards do various things to make certain things either get on consent or represented. They have committee structures in a variety of ways. We can really research this and go further, but what I didn't want to do was to use staff's time to do that if we're comfortable the way we are. There are some dates by which the state creates for us, so we've got to present and get action, you know, taken from you on. There are some other things, because your main work is in the area of policy. There are some other things we don't ever have to bring, but we think it's good for you to know. And I do think discussion is good, but maybe we do need to limit some of them, because some have gone on. You know, when we look at some of the discussion items, sometimes we've discussed things for nearly an hour, one topic. And that is.
That doesn't happen very
It
often.
doesn't happen often.
But it does happen.
But it happens. So I just didn't want to go any further with this if there wasn't any interest, and I did want to explore and bring options if there is interest.
You know, most of the time, I just look at 99% of the time when I leave the meeting, whether it's been for an hour or 3 hours, the question I ask, have we been productive? How much of that time? And we spend most of our time doing productive things, having productive discussion, whether that's in a 2-hour meeting or 4-hour meeting. How we go about modifying, doing a program that would cut down the time. I mean, I'm interested in hearing that. But personally, I don't see how we're going to be able to do that. If the meeting we have is productive, then we need to figure out a way so that we can get out before Reverend Richardson goes to sleep on us.
There's a 5-hour energy.